Welcome to the Dental Marketing Secrets Podcast, where we provide insight and feedback on what's working right now in the world of dental marketing so that you can grow your practice, serve more patients, and leave a greater impact in the end. I'm your host, Mark Thackeray. All right, my friends, welcome back. Have another great episode coming your way. Just wrapped up a conversation interview with Daniel Dudley of Make-A-Wish Utah. He is the Chief Development Officer over there. And we talk about this concept of cause marketing, of partnering with a nonprofit organization to tell really a different story and to help promote their cause as well as promote your business. It's a really neat opportunity that can help your business grow, but also to help you do some good in the community at the same time. So very neat concept that we dive into. And it's something that's very near and dear to my heart, especially with Make-A-Wish, because some of you may know, but my third daughter, Ruby, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 5 years ago now, in 2016. And man, that was a rough stretch of time right there. I honestly don't think I worked very many hours in 2016. We just didn't know how much longer we would have her at that point. And thankfully, to make a long story short, she is still with us today, is doing tremendously well through a series of miraculous events. Really, we were able to locate this trial drug, and which eradicated all the tumors throughout her lungs. And you wouldn't even know today, that she's been through all of that. So we are truly fortunate and truly blessed in that regard. But this topic of cause marketing is something that I've been a part of for the last several years, specifically with Make-A-Wish, but also with other organizations. And it can do wonders for your practice and for your business as a whole and for your team members. It's so neat. And we dive into that today. So I hope you'll listen up and enjoy this one, because it is a really nice opportunity to be a part of something bigger than just your practice, and to really do some good and get your patients involved and doing good as well, and create a different story, upgrade your culture. So with that, let's get into this with this interview with Daniel Dudley. All right, you guys, welcome back. Another episode. Got Daniel Dudley here with me. Daniel, how are you?
Doing well, Mark. Good to be back with you.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I love just hearing your voice. We were on a call the other day. You were presenting. I was just one of the many listeners, but it's always great to hear from you, just because you guys are doing such great work at Make-A-Wish, and then that's what we're talking about today, obviously, is Make-A-Wish Foundation, but really more generally cause marketing. And whenever I think of you, you're just kind of the guy to go to. And I've had lots of people say that exact same thing. So we're excited to have you on the show.
Hey, well, thank you. Thanks for the compliments. I'm always trying to hit that average level. So anything above and beyond, if that ever happens, it's just cherry on top.
Well, we just need a picture in that room of yours, and that'll bump it up significantly. You're just looking at this white wall. Well, there's something behind you, but you're kind of covering it, so that's okay.
Yeah, it probably looks like I'm in an insane asylum or something like that.
A safe zone. We call those a safe zone.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably more appropriate. Yep, that's more.
Oh,
you have
man.
to edit that out.
Well, this is a really cool. We're doing this right now because of a couple of things. One is the Wish. It's a Make-A-Wish Hero campaign, and I may have said that wrong, but it's going on this month, and so it's a big emphasis on granting wishes, on raising money to grant wishes for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And this is just the second year that's happened. Is that right?
Yeah, second annual, and it's a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign where we figured we have incredible advocates in the community like Mark Thackeray.
Wannabes.
Let's invite them to tell the Make-A-Wish story and invite the community through social media and email and digitally to help Make-A-Wish grant wishes and bring hope to children that are battling critical conditions.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that as we dive into this. But so it's just perfect timing right now, and so But let's take a step back, Daniel. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you first got involved with Make-A-Wish?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been at Make-A-Wish Utah for almost 9 years, and worked in the nonprofit industry for a tad longer than that. But before that time, going way back, I worked in the banking industry,
Mm.
which maybe some skeptics listening would call the opposite of the nonprofit, charitable industry. So, but I had some great experiences there, but worked in that sector long enough to know it's not what I wanted to do long term. It just wasn't bringing fulfillment. Didn't really probably align with my strengths personally. And with some friends, started a really small nonprofit that wasn't anything life changing. It was part time. We'd set up a few local service projects each month. And this is while we were kind of finishing up college, so there was a social component to it as well. And but through that, I met someone affiliated with Make a Wish, and we were just chatting. And she introduced me to the organization. I was familiar with it, like most members of the general public.
Right.
Had a family friend whose son received a wish to go to Disney World, but I really didn't understand the inner workings of how the organization functions, and most importantly, I really did not comprehend the the deep impact that wishes have on their recipients, their families, and all of the people who love the children who are going through a really difficult time. So when I learned that, I thought this is my opportunity to kind of to leave the banking industry, go see how a reputable, loved nonprofit organization that's making a tremendous difference is run. So I worked originally. I worked with the Wish families, who would go to the Make-A-Wish facility and talk to them about what they could wish for, and then transition onto the fundraising and development side 6 years ago, and have handled our corporate relations, cause marketing campaigns, employee giving campaigns, foundation giving, individual giving, and now am fortunate to lead our development department as the chief development officer.
Mm. So cool. So cool. Yeah, and you do such a tremendous job. It's been fun to see the evolution as we've been involved. And for those of you who don't know, we have a daughter with cancer and went through the Make-A-Wish program. That was 5 years ago. She was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 melanoma, and we ended up getting a wish expedited because she just didn't look very good. Like it wasn't looking great at that point. Things had kind of taken a steep decline, and anyway, so we didn't know how much time we had, and we were able to go down to Disney World as a family, and we still talk about that trip. We still have such fond memories of that, and it was such a source of just. I mean, that when as a parent, all you want is time, and you just want quality time with your kids, and that whole year, it was 2016. I don't know how many, I probably worked like 12 hours that year. I feel like, we just tried to spend so much time with our family because we didn't know what was coming in the future. Long story short, thankfully she recovered. She through a series of really miraculous events, she was put on a trial drug that has since eradicated completely all of the tumors in her lungs, and is at a point where there's no evidence of disease at all, and you wouldn't even know that she's gone through what she's gone through. And so it's we've had a remarkable journey, but we have been on that side of things, and we understand how bleak that is, and what what these wishes can do. It's not just for the wish kid itself, but it's for the entire family. It's for there's so much packed in there, and that's what got me really excited, to have Daniel on today, is just to talk about this more, because like you said, there's just, you don't, until you see it. And I didn't know this beforehand either. Like, I just didn't understand how powerful that was. I'd heard of Make-A-Wish. I knew who they were and a bit of what they did, but I didn't know how much that could impact someone. And so, yeah, that's what we're talking about today really is just partnering with, I mean, you mentioned the phrase, Daniel, cause marketing. Why don't you just define what that is for those who have never heard that before?
Yeah, to cause market in I would say the most traditional form of that that word, the most traditional definition in my experience is the partnership of a for-profit brand with a charity brand. And they combine and come together, and the for-profit utilizes the mission and the stories from that charity brand in their own marketing strategies or to promote a specific product or service. And then they dedicate a portion of the sales from that product or service to the cause that they care about. So we any person listening has probably been a part of or given to a cause marketing campaign before, that's gone to the grocery store and purchased a product where a portion of that sell. I was just at the grocery store, and there was cookies on the cookie aisle, and they had the logo of a really prominent national organization, and it was 1% of all cookie sales nationwide were going to support that organization. So we probably all participated and supported cause marketing in some avenue, but always are potentially not aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so neat because it's a great win-win relationship there. I mean, you have an organization, a for-profit company that is always looking to generate exposure and interest and traffic, to whether to the website or to a brick and mortar store, or whatever the case may be. And that's always a challenge that we're up against in business. But also, it's a win. So it's a win for them because you're gaining exposure that way, but you're really gaining exposure for the nonprofit, for the in this case, it could be Make-A-Wish, it could be another organization, and bringing light and sharing that story with the world. And that's such a neat thing, because we have, as humans, as consumers, as people, we thrive off of stories, and so when we can share a story like that, that's so compelling, people want to get involved. It catches people's attention much more effectively than just obviously an advertisement or something like that.
Yeah, Mark. Well, and this is good timing for Make-A-Wish to be talking about cause marketing, because we just concluded a campaign with our largest cause marketing partner. It's Jersey Mike's, the sub shop. They have 20 stores throughout the state, and on the last Wednesday of the month, they hold a day of giving where they donate 100% of their sales to an organization. And Make-A-Wish has been fortunate to be that organization 6 years in a row. And leading up to it, we secure some media segments so that we can promote the day of giving, but also their product, their fantastic, delicious menu, the values, the way that they support our community. And then we spread the word to our entire network, entire Make-A-Wish network, and then so do they. And they raised $200,000 for Wishes, which is absolutely incredible. One of the more significant contributions we'll receive this year. But then also from a business standpoint, foot traffic on average per store, the sales per store were up 6 times the average Wednesday. And so those are people that are hopefully trying Jersey Mike's for the first time, that are going to come back again. Yeah. And when they think of Jersey Mike's, they're thinking of Make-A-Wish, they're thinking of community supporter. And then also, by the way, they have a fantastic product. So I would say that's kind of the ideal, the pillar of a cause marketing campaign and partnership coming together.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just look at that and you think how strategic that is, I mean, where you see that it's cross promotional, you're both reaching out to your own contacts that way, and you're gaining exposure for both sides. But it also, and you mentioned this too, Daniel, but it shows a commitment really to the community, that you are focused not just on your business. You're not just a nameless organization that's after the almighty dollar, but you're concerned about the neighborhoods, about what's going on, and being a contributor, and so I think that's a really neat thing. We've seen this in so many different campaigns. I've been a part of lots of different types, from, companies that I've worked for, as well as private clients, getting them involved to different degrees. And it's just so neat to see what type of effect that has on, in this case, a practice or business, when they get their it's neat to get the team involved. Like first and foremost, get your team behind this, help them really get grasp that vision, so to speak. But then also extend that opportunity to your customer base, your client base, to get involved, and that could be by contributing. It could be by Jersey Mike's does a great come in and get a meal. All that will go 100% will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, or it could just be we had some clients that we were putting on a proclamation party, for a Make-A-Wish child, and so they helped. We asked patients to help create a really unique experience for this child for this party, and we had patients that came and put together because of the Harry Potter themed, and they had this one. They had these cupcakes that looked like, the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter and things like that. And there's another one too where he was wanted to do karate lessons, and so we went to a dojo. This patient, had access to a dojo, brought him in, and we had all this food, and they did like a private session, and it was so cool. He was breaking boards and things like it was just awesome, and it was just kind of this dream come true experience. And you get your customers involved, you get your clients, your patients involved in this. That is something they will never ever forget. I mean, you think about the type of how it changes and shifts that perception of who you are as an organization or as a business by participating in things like that. Can you speak a little bit about that too, Daniel, in terms of what you've seen from some of your partners that way?
Yeah, Mark. Well, just to expand on the partnership that we had with the dental company that you were representing, um, that was uh, that was one of the better ways that we've seen a group include their customers, and provide a unique experience for them. So, a wish proclamation is the event where we surprise a child with the news their wish is going to be granted. And Stonehaven Dental, who was the cause marketing partner supporting Make-A-Wish, they printed and produced information about some wish kids that they were raising funds for, and asking their customers to give funds for. But they also asked customers to help plan the proclamation. And you mentioned how that would be an unforgettable experience. I've got to imagine, as far as if the goal is to differentiate, in that sector, to not be just another dental office. I've got to think that inviting customers to engage at that level accomplishes differentiation at that point. And then there's a lot of data that supports holding cause marketing campaigns too. That there are business reasons to do it beyond the win-win part of supporting the community and the altruistic component. Harris Poll, which is a large American market research and analytics company, published a brand equity study in 2019. They found that 7 out of 10 consumers are more likely to purchase a product or service from a company if they know a portion of their purchase will come back to support a charity in their community in some form.
Wow.
70% of consumers, and that was
Yeah.
that all things are equal. Quality is similar, price is similar in the product or service. That was an independent study done by Harris Poll. We've seen things like that anecdotally. So, in another industry, we have a great partner in the car industry, and we were holding an event with them on a Saturday. It was with Nate Wade Subaru as part of their Share the Love campaign. We had a Wish family there. They were hosting a Wish proclamation. And one of the family members who was attending the proclamation had been car shopping for a while, and literally bought a car that day while they were there. They'd never been to Nate Wade before, never heard of Nate Wade Subaru. They're from northern Utah, but decided to make the purchase because of Nate Wade's support for Make-A-Wish Utah. So when we're all right, it's a branding world. Marketing is so important. We're all trying to stand out amid the clutter. There's so much information. Partnering with a prominent, well-respected, well-liked nonprofit on a cause marketing campaign is a fantastic way to do that.
It really is, and another thing that I noticed from, when we ran some of these campaigns, just the team building aspect, I alluded to it a little bit But just when you get your team behind a bigger vision than just what their normal day to day is, it really brings everyone together. I mean, it's extra heavy duty cement to, that really bonds that whole office together, because now you're working for something that's much greater than yourself. It's much greater than your organization. It's community wide. It's for someone in need. And it's so neat. I remember one, so with, we had, we were doing we did several of these proclamation parties, and we just seeing some of the team members and their ingenuity. I mean, they were so excited about this. They started coming up with all these different ideas on ways to make this party, make this event even that much better, and you just see there's such collaboration right there. It's magic what happens there. So, and those things are things that will carry on, long afterward. You have, so what we did proclamation party, we took pictures, documented it, talked about it afterwards quite a bit. And then you review it, I mean, you can review it end of the year as you're doing a summary of the year, looking forward to the next year, and make that part of who you are and really your culture within your business. And that's another differentiator, is if you're attracting people because they want to be a part of something bigger than them. They understand that the business is solid and they provide a great product or service, but in addition to that, they're making a difference on top of that. So yeah. What else would you add to that? I mean, because I think if there's someone if I'm practice, for example, I've had a lot of people ask about this. Well, how do I get started? It seems great. I mean, that sounds awesome to partner with someone like Make-A-Wish or another nonprofit organization that we feel strongly about, but I don't even know how to get started. What would you suggest, Daniel?
I think my first suggestion is to lean on the nonprofit a little bit. Cause marketing is a great opportunity for them to show their value and provide value to you and your company in return for the generous donation and contribution that you're giving to support that charity. So that would be my first step, right? All just nonprofits are similar to all businesses in the sense that all have various capabilities, different sizes and staff, different abilities to maybe execute a cause marketing campaign. I would think that most nonprofit that has a national presence should be able to help manage and implement a cause marketing campaign. So I think that would be step one. Decide what cause do you care about? What are our customers going to care about? Something that will excite them, what will excite our employees, and then having a conversation. For us at Make-A-Wish, when we have the privilege of being chosen as a cause marketing partner, we reach out to someone and see if they'd be interested in holding a cause marketing partnership with us. We feel like it's our duty to make it as easy as possible to execute. And so starting with defining some parameters. What is the timeline of the campaign? Do you want this to be annual, ongoing, or to be something short? We want to hold a wish week or a wish month. That's number one, looking at timeline. We want to understand your goals. Is it employee engagement and employee culture? Is it customer retention or customer acquisition, customer experience? And then we could generate ideas and activities to fit into the campaign timeline that would give us opportunities to accomplish those goals. And then also, what are the business objectives? Is it a specific product or service that needs to be promoted, that we tie to the Make-A-Wish mission? And then how can Make-A-Wish promote and expand the company's reach? And then we just work that usually just into a one-page campaign plan, identify who is executing on what activities and actions. And then from there, it's pretty seamless execution.
Nice. Yeah. So you really define everything up front and kind of establish what that vision is, what it looks like, what you're trying to hit, business wise. And I love that you added that too. It's not just, hey, let's do some good in the community, but it's also has that business element involved as well, because it's a partnership. You're trying to do something that accomplishes multiple things, really. I mean, from the community aspect, the charitable aspect, to the business side of things as well. So Very, very powerful. And there's so many ways. You guys do this in so many different ways. And that's what I love. That's one of the things that I love about Make-A-Wish is just that they make it very easy for you. You can do kind of as little or as much as you want, and so go into detail on that, Daniel. What are some of those ways that you guys have seen partners? Have they participated in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll give two examples. One that's kind of, I would say, the simplest form of cause marketing with Make-A-Wish, and then another that is more, I would say, more expansive and comprehensive. So, example one is one type of campaign that we offer is to hold what we call a star icon campaign. This is a specifically branded to Make-A-Wish campaign. We have little paper stars, and our cause marketing partner agrees to do one of two things: either sell the stars at checkout to their customers. So essentially, when we say sell the stars, ask the customer to make a donation, and in response, and in return for that, they write their name down on the star, the customer's name, and post it somewhere at the company's location. So usually, this is a brick and mortar partnership.
Right.
That's option one. Option two is for if the company is making a donation, the company is actually making the donation on behalf of the customer. So let's say if we take the dental example, we actually have a campaign coming up where we're doing this, where for every teeth whitening, a dental office is making a $50 donation to Make-A-Wish Utah. When that patient is either checking in or checking out, the front desk staff team member communicates that the donation is being made on their behalf because they're receiving their treatment at that dental office, and then presents the star, and the customer gets to write their name on the star, and they put it up on their Make-A-Wish wall, and we have a picture of a wish kid there. So that is really simple. We do it for most often. Most common time frame is to hold a campaign like that for a month. Something a little more comprehensive, and by the way, cause marketing can be accomplished via e-commerce in B2B scenarios or B2C, more B2C scenarios. We're focusing on B2C because that is the most visible, certainly,
Right.
and probably the most common. But something that's a little more comprehensive would be an example. We held a cause marketing campaign with Crumble last year, and they actually designed a product in preparation for the campaign. They designed a product that would be a one-time sell. So that was Make-A-Wish branded. It was a Make-A-Wish star cookie.
I love it.
And it was a flavor that they had never done before. So I say more comprehensive, right? Because they're doing a lot of product development behind the scenes. They knew that they're probably going to retire this product afterward. They're adding operationally to everything that they're already doing in their business. But it created incredible excitement. We held an Instagram live video. It was a Wish Kid who unveiled what the new Make-A-Wish cookie flavor was going to be. And then we sent all of our Make-A-Wish supporters to their stores when they actually started selling that cookie. And then what they did is they gave the profits from that cookie to Make-A-Wish Utah to help grant. And so that was just it, right? It was really fun. It fit perfectly they know what their market is. They sell to a lot of families who know what Make-A-Wish is, who care about Make-A-Wish, who can empathize with parents of sick children. And by the way, they cared a lot. Of course, they also cared a lot about helping a charity that they believe in their community. They're a very community-focused organization. So those are, I would say, two different examples. I could go on forever, Mark, but I can leave it at those two.
Well, there's so many more. First question is, do you remember what the flavor was that they made?
Yeah, it was Sour Patch Kid cookie. Ooh,
that sounds good.
They're all good there.
They are all good. They are all good. I love sour stuff. I've always loved the sour gummy stuff. So that's too bad I missed out on that. But the other thing is too, I mean, you could do something where some of these, like you said, can be more comprehensive. They can be more time intensive. You can make them very, very simple too, whether it's just this is an automatic, you can sign up for an automatic deduction from your paycheck, and just maybe it's $5 every 2 weeks that goes towards Make-A-Wish, something simple, and that does not require a lot of effort and time on your part if that's the challenge for you. So that's what I love, is it can be completely adapted to your situation, to your goals, and so it makes it so much better that way. um, okay, well, what else, any last words as we're wrapping this up, Daniel? Any last words, anything that we missed that you feel like would be important for people to know if they're considering a cause marketing campaign, or did we get it all?
No, I'm going to try to be concise in my with what I'm adding, Mark, because I think you've summarized everything really well. But that's to emphasize something you touched on earlier in our session here, and that's the storytelling piece of this. And we always tell our partners, don't be shy about telling the story that includes you supporting Make-A-Wish. So often partners come to us and they're a little apprehensive about telling that story because they don't want to come across as, I think, either self-righteous or doing something for the wrong reasons. And we want to provide value, and one way we can do that is by letting your customers know and helping maybe build some brand equity between you and your customer base, by sharing the Make-A-Wish mission, and which has some of the greatest stories to tell in all of branding, nonprofit, for profit, one of the greatest brands in America. And and I would say that portion, lean on your nonprofit partner, but the storytelling, understanding how you're going to craft it into your own marketing mediums. Um, the partners who have the most success are very deliberate and strategic in how they share that story and why they're supporting Make-A-Wish,
Right.
why it's important to them, how their employees are engaging with it, and how by doing business with us we can help Make-A-Wish grant wishes, and that's so important to us. And that does not come across as self-serving at all. So the customer just thinks, wow, right, this is different from anything I've done before, certainly probably different from what other groups do in this industry. Um, uh, rarely to never, data shows, is there a negative connotation with celebrating supporting a nonprofit organization.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great point too, is just say it in your own words. Explain how that process came to be, why you wanted to do it, and even how you selected that organization, how and just say, well, we got together as a team, and this happened, and this person said this. And I mean, like with some of the, clients, we mentioned Stonehaven Dental as one of those. When working with them, it was very much an open discussion. And there were several of them that came with several organizations that were put forward, and then we eventually settled on Make-A-Wish. And then we went to, partially because we had a number of team members that had been directly involved with Make-A-Wish through a family member, and so, and then we went and toured the facility, just, kind of make sure that everyone was on board and everything like that. And that's so easy to share, I mean, I remember we had one of the gals who was an office manager for one of the locations. She had a daughter who also had cancer, and they went through Make-A-Wish, and they she shared. We recorded a video of her sharing about her experience with that, and she got very emotional and was very vulnerable. But patients really responded to that because it was authentic, and because she was sharing. Like Daniel was saying, you're sharing the story of why this is important to you. And it's a great way to get people involved and showcase that you really do, you're concerned about the community, you're concerned about a ton of other things, besides just your business or your practice. I mean, that you're just a normal person, you have kids, you have all these other things that we all go through as well. So yeah, that's a great great advice.
Mark, thanks so much for having me on and for being just a continued advocate for Make-A-Wish and so many other organizations that you support. Really appreciate our friendship, and I'm glad you live in my community because you make it stronger.
Well, we all contribute. I'm just trying to follow your lead, but it's been a pleasure, really. I mean, we've received so much from Make-A-Wish in the past, and it's been great to get other people involved. It's something that's so cool when you get them involved. Everyone gets so excited about it, and they can't wait. I've had a lot of clients come back to me and say, "Hey, when are we going to do something for Make-A-Wish?" And so that's because of the feeling that they get when they get involved with something like this. So a tremendous opportunity. If people are, maybe considering Make-A-Wish as a partner, marketing partner, a cause marketing partner, what's the best way if they want to learn more, or if they want to contact you specifically? How do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can contact me, give Make-A-Wish a call at 801-262-9474. This is going to sound like an infomercial, but 801-262-WISH, 9474 actually spells out WISH on the dial phone. And then you can go to our website. You can reach me through our website and email us through there. And then I should give you a shout out, Mark, because you are a Wish hero for Make-A-Wish this month. One of about 100 people in the state who have taken on the mantle to be a Wish hero and raise funds online. So that's a way listeners can support us as well, as to support Mark and his efforts.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to post a link in the podcast notes on the post as well. So yeah, just click on that if you'd like to donate. We would love that. It goes so far, you guys. So yeah, that'd be tremendous. But Daniel, thank you so much for taking the time with us. Thanks for all you do in the community as well. And we'll have you back in the future.
Love it. Thanks, Mark.
Hey, my friends, thank you for joining us today on the show. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out our website for resources, downloads, and additional information at www.dentalmarketingsecretspodcast.com. Again, that's dentalmarketingsecretspodcast.com. And we'll catch you next time on the show.